Hello everyone and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade. I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 83. Today is Sunday, April 5th, 2015, and I'm glad you could join me today. I am recording at night because the afternoon totally got away from me today, so such is life. And I'm guessing it'll not be a very long episode because I didn't really have a lot of editing time this week. It was interesting. Or what is it? So the thing I got the most progress done on this week was my yoga mat bag, which doesn't even have a Ravelry project. Maybe I'll fix that. We'll see whether or not I even make episode or whether or not I put links in my show notes on my blog, honestly, because it's late. So my yoga mat bag, I think it's about halfway now, and it is coming along. It's my In the Dark movie knitting, and I don't have too much left of the first skein, but luckily I have another skein to go. So that one is the smaller skein, so we'll see how it comes together. It might turn out I need to use the third skein for the straps. I definitely don't want to use the fourth skein from this pound spin for the straps because that is way too fluffy and isn't gonna take, well to the abuse. So there you go. So it has been coming along nicely. You can sort of see how there's since it's a combo spin and one of the plies was the combo, you can see how maybe it comes from a lighter color to maybe stripes of a darker color. So it is coming along. I was chugging away at it this week while watching movies, or what is it? Well, actually right now we're watching Firefly. We're going through all the episodes again. So that is the story there. The thing that probably got the least work done on it this week was the Union Jack socks. So this is a pattern from Think Outside the Socks. It's the Union Jack Argyle. And Think Out of the Socks is a really interesting book, so if you're thinking of it, there are a lot of fun patterns in it. And I think because they are so crazy, that's why the Deerfield one really likes it. So this is the sock so far. I've done one pattern repeat. I'll probably do 2 pattern repeats before I go into the heel, but you can really see the pattern pretty well now. So I'm knitting them inside out so that my floats are nice and long. And I'm knitting them on zeros. Hopefully I didn't lose my other zero. I can't seem to find it anywhere. So I am into the second pattern repeat, but not very far. Maybe 1 or 2 rows in now. And it was the case where I was working on them at Knitting Friday, and that was pretty much it. And it wasn't like I worked on them for all that particularly long at knitting either. So, but the blue is Woolmisa Twin and Dora, and the red is Fiber Webs, which is a yarn from Australia, which I got at a swap. So that's the story there. Maybe even somewhere I have a little copy of the chart hanging out. Really in this case I'm just using it for the chart. Yeah, here we go. So my little piece of engineering paper with the grid. So, and the final thing I'm working on, which this got at least a little bit of progress done on it, I've actually started the sleeve cap shaping after hemming and hawing for a little while as to how long my sleeve needed to be. It turned out, based on the pattern instructions, I was way short. Or the pattern instructions were going to end up being very short, or an awkwardly short sleeve, if you know what I mean. So after doing a little bit of calculation last night, I decided to go for, what was it, 19.5 inches instead of the 17 it called for, so that was a pretty big difference there. And now I'm doing the sleeve cap shaping. So in the home stretch here, I think I'm decreasing until I get down to like whatever. All the patterns call for the same number 1, so the cap length is different between them, but the shoulder bit is not, so we shall see how that goes. But currently I'm doing the small one, or the small sleeve, so. And I haven't yet started the second. I think I'll be able to get the second sleeve out of this ball, which means that I will have made an entire sweater with 2 balls of yarn, which is sort of crazy making to me. But we shall see. I guess there's still some edging stuff left to do as well. But that's it for knitting. When you don't have 24 hours of knitting time in a week, suddenly things aren't getting done as quickly. So I did a little bit of work on the camel silk. So it is continuing to grow, slowly but surely. Oh no! The tip has broken off of my spindle. That is, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. So the tip is where I loop on, or whatever, when I tie my knot. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out some sort of way to make a new tip, because otherwise this guy really didn't stand up to that very well, did it? There's probably hanging out here broken in the bottom of my bag. Ah. Well, that's really sad. Because, like, you can do 2 knots and still spin with it, but it's a lot easier to not have to worry about it, so I'll have to figure something out. So I'm not sure how far into this spin I am at this point. I'll just sort of break it loose. So I'm guessing I'm probably not more than half an ounce in at this point, so there's still quite a lot to get on. But I took my chunk out Friday at knitting and ended up spinning my chunk, but yeah, that's such a bummer. It broke. Maybe I'll have to figure out a way of putting in a new shaft or something, or finding a way to mod this one. But how's the story there? Or figure out some different plan to do with it. Oh my goodness, that is so annoying. So the other spinning that I've been working on, which is not fraught with peril, is I have done my first round of plying on Chocolate Shetland Fleece number 8, and you guys can't see. Well, you might be able to see something there. So I've put it into a center pull ball so I can ply from both ends. Both ends, maybe. And that this will be skein number 8 for the sweater, and skein number 2 for the pound-a-thon. And I have, what is that? So I was sitting down before dinner tonight trying to figure out if I had, enough fiber to put together basically 4 more bags of roll-ups so that I would have the full pound. And not have to incorporate terrible, horrible, no good fleece into it. And it looks like I can probably make it work. So I have 2 more bags ready to spin. I have half an ounce from last week already carded. And these are actually maybe a little bit heavier. But I'm hoping that because that I took out all of the really terrible parts of the fleece, that I won't need to have so much extra carded up in order to have the right amount. So I ended up throwing in another roll log for this one because there was so much terrible stuff in it. So, whatever, and it was, well, it wasn't a whole lot, but it turned out there was about 0.3 ounces of just stuff that I couldn't spin while spinning this, which was slightly annoying for skein number 8. And that, what is it? I have 6 more to go. Before basically I run out of yarn, and I might need to break into the other fleece at that point. So, coming along, it'll be pretty easy, simple plied, or whatever, an easy, simple bout of plying to do, so that shouldn't be too bad. I don't know if I'm going to launch into the next one. I think I needed to have a certain rate of excuse me, a certain rate of production. But it seems to be that I can just sit down and knock out the whole entire skein in more or less a week. I'm not sure if I was showing you single, or wait, I think I had counted out the rollouts, so I was spinning it, or I had started to spin it last week, and then I'm pretty close to finishing now. If I had sat down after dinner, I probably could have plied it together fairly quickly. The problem with, like, if you don't finish the plying is, like, with plying, you'd have to cut it off the wheel in order to show it, and no. So, that is the story there. So I'm thinking chocolate Shetland fleece is going to be next on the wheel, and now I need to figure out how in the world I'm going to fix my Turkish spindle, or what I'm going to do in order to make that work. I don't know if I need to transfer the singles to a different spindle, or whether or not I can spin it on my wheel now, since I understand how to draft it. I'm not sure. If any of you guys have any ideas, I'd be happy to hear them, or whether or not I just need to apply what I have and spin the rest on the wheel. That's also a possibility, especially now that I understand how to draft it. Maybe it'll go a lot more smoothly. It went really bad the first time I tried it on my wheel, but who knows. So, the last thing for the show is I ended up pulling before the show the random number generator for the Cal prizes. So we ended up having 7 entries into the Cal, and so then basically I just went through the pictures and pulled the FO picture and whatever, the count and stuff like that. So, in terms of finished objects, the person who ended up winning the hat and cowl set is actually Jose. So, please, please, please give me a PM so I can figure out all of the mailing information. And I'm so excited to send this to you. So, it has whatever, the Happy Rainbow cowl and the matching hat. So, thank you so much for participating. Her project was the second one finished, and it was a pretty pink hat with these like cool cables on like a reverse stockinette background. So, yay! So, congratulations. I'd also like to thank Jose because she sent me a pattern for my birthday. My birthday was this Monday, which I think was part of the reason why I didn't have as much knitting time as usual, because we ended up going out to a fancy dinner out. And one problem with the fancy dinner is that it takes longer than you expect. So that is the story there. So yay! So thank you everyone who participated in the knit along. I'm really happy you guys could join in. And I guess I can post the announcement in the knit along thread too. So for people who, or I'll wait until Jose gets back to me and then I'll post in the thread. So I know that she tends to watch earlier in the week, so that, I believe, is everything. I should be able to record next week. Next week will be the 12th. Anything else? I don't know. Who knows? I might even start my Mega Cell Fiber. I'm not sure. But we shall see. And I don't know, I don't have high hopes for finishing the sweater for next week. Maybe I'll have all the pieces done. Maybe. I think it depends on how much downtime I have, and I don't feel like I've had too much downtime lately for knitting. But I look forward to talking to you guys again next week, and take care. Bye-bye.